These are for Wyken and for Lower Stoke. Would candidates and election agents for Wyken and for Lower Stoke please make their way to the Dillon's Lounge for the provisional results. Thank you.
Nigel? Nigel? Oh, they're ready. Good afternoon, everybody. We're now going to move to our first declaration of result of poll. Before I start, can I just send our sympathies to the family and friends of Dave Anderson? If I can start then with the election of a City Councillor for St Michael's on Thursday the 2nd of May 2024. I, Junie Newman, being the returning officer at the above election, do hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the said election is as follows. Naeem Akhtar, Labour Party, 2,222. Christine Brown, Green Party, 329. Benoit David Jones, Liberal Democrats for a Fair Deal, 147. David Nellis, Trade Unions and Socialist Coalition, 346. Karen Wilson, Coventry Citizens Party, 186. Mehmet Yetkin, Conservative and Unionist Party, 350. The number of ballots rejected was as follows. Voting for more than one candidate than voter was entitled to, 8. Being marked as void for uncertainty, 43. Total of number of ballot papers rejected, 51. The vacant seats was 1. The electorate was 15,258. Ballot papers issued was 3,631, and the turnout was 23.80%. And I do hereby declare that Naeem Akhtar is duly elected.
Good afternoon, everyone, and can I start by saying thank you to the returning officer and her staff for arranging a very foolproof elections and conducted the election very fair, free and impartial. Can I also, thanks to my ward colleague, Councillor Jim Boyle, Councillor David Welsh, and more importantly, can I thank my agent, Jason Brannigan, who have done a tremendous job for us, and I think without Jason, I don't think so we can run a better campaign in any election. Jason is an asset to the Coventry Labour Party, and I once again thank Jason for his hard work for us. Also, I would like to thank the people of St Michael's for putting their trust once again in the Labour Party and in me, and I can promise to the people of St Michael that, as always, I will do my best to represent the communities of St Michael to every forum. St Michael's councillors are not just councillors, we are actually the neighbourhood operative. We're roving around the city, we're noting the casework, and we're reporting to the council. And this is what we have done over the last 12 to 14 years, and we will continue to do that. As we all know, the St Michael's is one of the deprived neighbourhood in the UK, and is one of the densely populated area in the country. It's a very challenging ward to represent. It's a transient nature of the population, and it's not easy. And I can proudly say, myself, my colleague David and Jim, we have done a good job for St Michael, and we will carry on doing this job for a year to come. Thank you very much.
declaration of result of poll, Coventry, election of a City Councillor for Wainbody on Thursday, the 2nd of May 2024. I, Julie Newman, being the returning officer at the above election, do hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the said election is as follows. John Anthony Blundell, Conservative and Unionist Party, 1,869. Rebecca Ann Finson, Green Party, 258. Adam Jack Hancock, Coventry Citizens Party, 104. Megan Louise Lemmy, Women's Equality Party, 60. James Frederick Morshead, Liberal Democrats for a Fair Deal, 169. Dinbasi Edith Nakanda, Liberal Labour Party, 1,295. The number of ballot papers rejected was as follows, being unmarked for uncertainty, 19. Vacant seats 1, electorate 9,485, ballot papers issued 3,774, turnout was 39.79%. And I do hereby declare that John Anthony Blundell is duly elected.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and I'd just first of all like to thank the returning officer and all the staff here for this election, coming back over 2 days. Dedication indeed. Secondly, can I thank my agent, Ryan Simpson. Ryan has been doing an absolutely sterling job, and I know that without him we wouldn't have had the result that we've had. Thirdly, I want to just thank everybody that's helped me in the campaign, delivering leaflets, walking around Wainbody ward countless times. That would include my family, my wife, and also all the helpers. And just want to say that it's a fantastic result for Wainbody. We've actually slightly increased our share of the vote, which I'm very pleased about from last year. And obviously, just finally to thank everybody, all the residents of Wainbody, for putting their trust and faith in me to serve them for the next 2 years as their ward councillor. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Declaration of result of poll for Coventry, election of a City Councillor for Earlsdon on Thursday, 2nd of May 2024. I, Julie Newman, being the returning officer at the above election, do hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the said election is as follows. Adam Harmsworth, Trade Unions and Socialist Coalition, 139. Zaid Raymond, Conservative and Unionist Party, 1,663. Stephen Richmond, Liberal Democrats for a Fair Deal, 612. And Anthony James Tucker, Labour and Cooperative Party, 2,688. The number of ballot papers rejected were as follows, being unmarked or wholly void for uncertainty, 40, and voting for more than one candidate, 6. Vacant seats 1, electorate 11,875, ballot papers issued 5,148, turnout 43.35%. And I do hereby declare that Anthony James Tucker is duly elected.
Thank you ever so much. I'd like to start by thanking everybody who's made the poll possible after a very long night with a lot of complicated counting to do, and it's great to see how well everything's gone. And I would like to also commiserate and thank the other candidates who ran such a clean and fair election. I think we can all be happy with the way it was conducted. I of course also have to thank my colleagues, Councillor Kindy Sandhu and Councillor Lynette Kelly, who was my agent. Their support has been utterly invaluable. Likewise, every single volunteer as well, who's knocked on doors, who's delivered leaflets, who's allowed us to speak to more people and deliver more literature than ever before. I'm incredibly grateful to everybody. And last, of course, also to my fiancé, Mike, who's been an absolute invaluable help all this time. I'm very proud of this result. To be elected after 3 years with a double majority, I think, is a great tribute, above all, to teamwork, the way that the three of us have worked together and have done our best to represent everybody in Earlsdon Ward. The changes that we've pushed for, from electrified transport to safer roads, and a and the safe award for everybody, I'm hoping we'll be able to continue. And above all else, I'd like to thank everybody who voted in this election and who supported me, and I look to repay that trust in the next 2 years. Thank you.
This is an announcement for candidates and election agents for Westwood and Henley wards. We have provisional results available in the Dillon's Lounge. That's candidates and election agents for Westwood and Henley wards. Provisional results in the Dillon's Lounge. Thank you.
Declaration of results of poll, Coventry, election of a City Councillor for Wyken on Thursday, 2nd of May 2024. I, Julie Newman, being the returning officer at the above election, do hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the said elections is as follows. Richard Baker, Green Party, 232. Francis Beechey or Frank Beechey, Conservative and Unionist Party, 1,284. Gary Ronald Cooper, Coventry Citizens Party, 180. Annabel Mia Gurney Terry, Liberal Democrats for a Fair Deal, 116. Angela Betty Hopkins, commonly known as Angela Hopkins, Labour Party, 1,682. Manit Kaur Mathru, commonly known as Amelia Mathru, Trade Unions and Socialist Coalition, 60. The number of ballot papers rejected were as follows. Voting for more than candidates and voter was entitled to 8. Being unmarked or wholly void for uncertainty, 31. Total 39. Vacant seats 1. Electorate 12,632. Ballot papers issued 3,593 and the turnout was 28.44%. And I do hereby declare that Angela Betty Hopkins is duly elected.
Good afternoon. I'd just like to say a few thank yous. Firstly, to all the other candidates who ran. It's actually really hard to put yourself forward to run for elected office, and I'd just like to thank them for all running really well-run campaigns. I'd like to thank the returning officer and all the election staff, and I'd like to thank my agent Rob for helping me out. I'd like to thank all the volunteers who have come out to help me, particularly Mary Cray and Tony Short, who came out with me to speak to residents in all weathers. And I'd particularly like to thank the people of Wyken for putting their trust in me again. To paraphrase John Smith, the opportunity to serve our city, that is all we ask. And I thank them for giving me the opportunity to do so again. Thank you.
Declaration of result of poll, Coventry, election of a City Councillor for Lower Stoke on Thursday, 2nd of May 2024. I, Julie Newman, being the returning officer at the above election, do hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the said election is as follows. Andres Gozzi Rodriguez Sword, Liberal Democrats for a Fair Deal, 176. Thomas James Jewell, known as Tom Jewell, Green Party, 357. Catherine Elizabeth Mix, Labour Party, 2,677. John Patrick O'Sullivan, Trade Unionists and Socialist Coalition, 124. Danielle Stringfellow, commonly known as Stringfellow Danny, Coventry Citizens Party, 205. Paul Wyatt, Conservative and Unionist Party, 812. Number of ballots rejected were as follows. 1 for official mark 1. Voting for more candidates and voter was entitled to 8. Unmarked or wholly void for uncertainty, 53. Total 62. Vacant seats 1. Electorate 1,107. Ballot papers issued 4,413. Turnout was 27.40%. And I do hereby declare that Catherine Elizabeth Mix is duly elected.
We smashed it for Lower Stoke and Labour. First of all, I want to say thank you to the returning officer, for the counting officers on Lower Stoke table. Amazing work. My agent, Rupinder Singh, our colleagues in the ward, branch members. We had an amazing amount of people come out. My family never want to stuff an envelope ever again, so thank you to my family members. And I only have two messages for Mr. What's his name? Oh, Sunak. Please, a general election now. Give this country back to the people who deserve to have a better chance at life. Either that, I'll buy you a one-way ticket to Rwanda. That's it.
This is an announcement for candidates and election agents for Binley and Willenhall and Sherbourne wards. We have provisional results available in the Dillons Lounge. That's candidates and election agents for Binley and Willenhall and Sherbourne wards to the Dillons Lounge for provisional results.
Declaration of result of poll, Coventry, election of a City Councillor for Henley on Thursday, 2nd of May 2024. I, Julie Newman, being the returning officer of the above election, do hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the said election is as follows. Michael Arthur Ballinger, Conservative and Unionist Party, 863. Timothy Macy, Liberal Democrat, for a fair deal, 190. Aidan Spencer O'Toole, Trade Unionist and Socialist Coalition, 55. Edward Joseph Ruan, commonly known as Ed Ruan, Labour Party, 2,234. Catherine Elizabeth Watbot, commonly known as Cathy Watbot, Green Party, 247. Craig Thomas Watts, commonly known as Tom Watts, Coventry Citizens Party, 229. The number of ballot papers rejected was as follows. Voting for more candidates than voter was entitled to, 12. Being unmarked or wholly void for uncertainty, 54. Total, 64. Vacant seats, 1. Electorate, 15016. Ballot papers issued, 3,882. Turnout was 25.85%. And I do hereby declare that Edward Joseph Ruan is duly elected.
Thank you, and thank you to the election team and to the counting agents here today and yesterday. I'd also like to say a big thank you to my election agent, Pat Seaman. Where are you, Pat? Thank you. And also a special thank you to Kevin and Dave. I'd also like to thank Henley Labour Party and Coventry Labour Party for allowing me this opportunity to serve again. Thank you.
Declaration of result of poll Coventry, election of a City Councillor for Westwood on Thursday, 2nd of May 2024. I, Julie Newman, being the returning officer at the above election, do hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the said election is as follows. James Richard Donnelly, commonly known as Jim Donnelly, Trade Unionist and Socialist Coalition, 65. Grace Lewis, Labour Party, 1,936. Nate Lewis, Coventry Citizens Party, 139. Jessica Mary Marshall, commonly known as Jess Marshall, Green Party, 342. Asha Massey, Conservative and Unionist Party, 1,415. James Peter Simpson, commonly known as Jamie Simpson, Liberal Democrats for a Fair Deal, 199. The number of ballot papers rejected were as follows. Voting for more candidate than voter was entitled to, 4. Being unmarked or wholly void for uncertainty, 43, with a total of 47. Vacant seats, 1. Electorate, 14243. Ballot papers issued, 4,143. Turnout was 29.09%. And I do hereby declare that Grace Lewis is duly elected.
Firstly, thank you so much to every single person who came out and voted for me yesterday. It's a privilege to be elected as a Labour councillor for Westwood. Secondly, to my amazing campaign team, campaign manager John, election agent James, my friends at Right Labour Society and Team Zara, thank you for your support. To every single person who knocked a door, delivered a leaflet, designed a social media post, I could not have done this without you all. And to everyone who worked at the polling station and at the count today, thank you for ensuring that the people of Coventry can partake in the democratic process. As a first-time candidate, I appreciate how smooth this process has been. This victory was not an easy ride, up against an incumbent in a seat which has been Conservative the last 7 out of 8 years. We thought it would be challenging to convince residents that there was much needed change, but turns out they did not need much convincing. The previous 14 years of Conservative rule, mismanagement and corruption has finally caught up with the Tory party here in Westwood, and is hopefully a sign of what's to come across the country this weekend and in the general election as we elect a Labour government and re-elect Zara Sultana. Thank you to Councillor Asha Massey for her work in representing residents. I look forward to continuing this over the next few years. I really enjoyed sharing the benefits that another Labour councillor would bring to Westwood during the campaign, and I will ensure that I live up to these expectations and my campaign pledges, including fighting for more funding from central government, more affordable, better quality housing and more family-friendly green spaces. Growing up under a Conservative government, young people like myself are frustrated and tired. But like many residents we have spoken to on the doorstep, I do not lose hope that one day we can have a future where everyone is liberated. Now elected, I will stand up for the people of Westwood, ensuring that progressive change which is needed is delivered in the ward and on the City Council, whether that is fighting for climate justice, affordable housing, or supporting a ceasefire and a free Palestine. Thank you again, and I look forward to working for and with the residents of Westwood. Thank you.
This is an announcement for candidates and election agents for Upper Stoke, Woodlands and Whoberley.
Nigel. Declaration of result of poll Coventry, election of a City Councillor for Sherbourne on Thursday, the 2nd of May 2024. I, Julie Newman, being the returning officer at the above election, do hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the said election is as follows. Julian Peter Montague, Coventry Citizens Party, 161. Jane Elizabeth Nellis, Trade Unionist and Socialist Coalition, 136. Rachel Mary Norwood, Liberal Democrats for a Fair Deal, 136. David Neil Priestley, commonly known as David Priestley, Green Party, 261. Ryan Martin Thomas Simpson, Conservative and Unionist Party, 1,490. David Kenneth Tolson, commonly known as Dave Telson, Labour Party, 1,636. The number of ballot papers rejected was as follows: being unmarked or wholly void for uncertainty, 35. Voting for more than one candidate than the voter was entitled to, 5. Total 40. Vacant seats 1. Electorate 12356. Ballot papers issued 3,860. Turnout 31.24%. And I do hereby declare that David Kenneth Tolson is duly elected.
Well, all right. So, firstly, I'd like to thank all the staff who've worked so hard today and yesterday to make the count happen and the whole process happen. It's truly really impressive professionalism, and as nerve-shredding as it is for candidates and activists, I'm really impressed. More than anything, though, I need to thank all of the people who've supported me along the way, and that really is a cast of hundreds and hundreds, and I'm not have any intention of naming absolutely everyone, but some people can't go without being mentioned. So I need to thank Francis Crane, my agent, who is the best of comrades and a great support to all, and there is nobody who knows Sherbourne Ward better than Francis. I also thank my colleague, my now colleague, Gavin Lloyd, who's kept me sane and kept me going. I would like to thank George Duggins and Abdul Khan, who've always supported me, and Mal Mutton, who keeps the show on the road. Coventry Labour Party's secret weapon, Lindsley Harvard, without whom nothing would happen. Jim Cunningham, who quite happily gives up his retirement to still fight for working people. Jim O'Boyle, David Welsh and Naeem Akhtar, and the whole St Michael's team, who are the best team in the city. On a personal level, I'd thank my family, my mum, who is now a world record holder leaflet stuffer, and my kids, who wonder why my car is always full of leaflets. But more than anything, I thank the residents of Sherbourne. In the tradition of John Smith, all I ask is the chance to serve, and that is something that I take very seriously and will always have in my heart going forwards. And the reason I take it so seriously is because 14 years of disastrous austerity have ruined Britain. But the times they are changing. Where there is despair, there will be hope, and there will be a Labour government soon, and I look forward to being here in this room with lots of happy faces. Thank you all.
This is an announcement for candidates and agents for Foleshill Ward. The provisional result is available in the Dillon's Lounge. That's candidates and agents for Foleshill Ward in the Dillon's Lounge for provisional result.
Declaration of result of poll Coventry, election of a City Councillor for Charlesmore on Thursday, 2nd of May 2024. I, Julie Newman, being the returning officer at the said above election, do hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the said election is as follows. Randy Orlock, Labour Party, 1,601. Joshua Matthew Finch, commonly known as Joss Finch, Coventry Citizens Party, 178. Eleanor Elizabeth Griffiths, commonly known as Judy Griffiths, Trade Unions and Socialist Coalition, 73. Ranbir Singh Khattar, Liberal Democrats for a Fair Deal, 150. Barbara Katrina Musterman, Conservative and Unionist Party, 1,726. Bruce Raymond Tetlow, commonly known as Bruce Tetlow, Green Party, 282. The number of ballot papers rejected was as follows. Voting for more than one candidate than voter was entitled to, 3. Being unmarked, a wholly void for uncertainty, 49. Total 52. Vacant seats 1. Electorate 12067. Ballot papers issued 4,062. Turnout was 33.66%. And I do hereby declare that Barbara Katrina Musterman is duly elected.
Thank you very much, and like everybody else, I want to thank the returning officer, all the staff today here and yesterday at all the polling stations for all the hard work, but also, of course, the volunteers, my colleagues who have helped me in the last weeks, even month, to make this campaign successful. And of course, I want to thank all the residents who voted for me and put their trust in me again. And I look really forward to helping everybody who will need my service. Thank you very much.
We have 2 further provisional results available in the Dillon's Lounge. These are for Longford Ward and Holbrook. Could we have candidates and election agents for Longford and Holbrook to the Dillon's Lounge for provisional results? Thank you. The next result to be announced from the stage will be Bablake. That's the result for Bablake coming from the stage shortly.
Declaration of result of poll Coventry, election of a City Councillor for Bablake on Thursday, 2nd of May 2024. I, Julie Newman, being the returning officer at the above election, do hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the said election is as follows. Christopher Beatrice, commonly known as B. Christopher, Labour Party, 1,612. Anthony Gavin Downs, Trade Unions and Socialist Coalition, 43. David Russell Field, Liberal Democrats for a Fair Deal, 157. Stephen Henry Charles Keogh, commonly known as Steve Keogh, Conservative and Unionist Party, 1,528. Anthony Arthur Middleton, commonly known as Tony Middleton, Coventry Citizens Party, 194. Amanda Peel, Britain First, British People First, 379. James Martin Niall Webb, commonly known as Niall Webb, Green Party, 292. The number of ballots rejected was as follows. Voting for more candidates than the voter was entitled to, 3. Writing or mark by which voter could be identified, 1. Being unmarked or wholly void for uncertainty, 15. Total 19. Vacant seats 1. Electorate 13684. Ballot papers issued 4,224. Turnout was 30.87%. And I do hereby declare that Beatrice Christopher is duly elected.
It's a great day today. It's a great day. Wow, I'm so honored to be elected as the first, get it right? The first black female African in Coventry. Special thanks to Rachel Lancaster, I love you. To my mentor, Councillor Sheyi, thank you. To my agent, Shanaz, thank you. And to Labour team for your support, thank you so much. My promise to Bablake is visible representation. As a woman with a strong voice, it shows that when you knock on doors, when you speak to people, when you're visible, it works. Finally, this is a strong message that we are overdue for change. Change has come to stay. Thank you very much.
Declaration of result of poll Coventry, election of a City Councillor for Upper Stoke on Thursday the 2nd of May 2024. I, Julie Newman, being the returning officer at the above election, do hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the said election is as follows. Cameron Asif Khan, Labour Party, 2,049. Aaron Akanu Essel, commonly known as Aaron Essel, Independent, 143. John David Campbell Finlayson, commonly known as John Finlayson, Green Party, 287. Marcus Lou Paris Fogden, Coventry Citizens Party, 218. Alexander James Gallagher, commonly known as James Gallagher, Liberal Democrats for a Fair Deal, 186. Pratita Ramadi Reddy, Conservative and Unionist Party, 508. Terry J. Rosser, commonly known as Terry Rosser, Trade Unionist and Socialist Coalition, 88. And Angela Simona Russo, Independent, 57. The number of ballot papers rejected was as follows. Want of official mark, 1. Voting for more candidates than voter was entitled to, 3. Writing or mark by which voter could be identified, 1. Being unmarked or wholly void for uncertainty, 22. Total 27. Vacant seats, 1. Electorate, 13655. Ballot papers issued, 3,563. Turnout was 26.09%. And I do hereby declare that Cameron Asif Khan is duly elected.
In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. First of all, I just want to thank each and everybody, especially the staff, the returning officer, Julie, and our whole team, who have done a very efficient and brilliant count for the whole community. I think it's been a very, very tough election. I feel very tired because after a long time we've had to wait another day for the count. I think clearly with the power of community work, you can see that we're penetrating our communities. I'm very, very proud in each and every corner we've done some sort of project or some sort of support within our community, and that is shown today. I do want to thank some people. I want to thank my family, especially my brothers Farhan, Tasif, my son Ibrahim, who's here today, and my special thanks to my colleagues Councillor Kaur and Councillor Gurdev Singh here, who's been my agent, who's been absolutely magnificent support throughout. I once again want to thank the leadership for continuing to support me in the work we do to help our communities. But I just want to give a special thanks to Tony, who's regularly come out and supported me, and at the same time Mary Cray, who's continued to be at Upper Stoke regularly in supporting the work we're doing. So once again, I want to thank everybody, all our community leaders. We're very, very grateful for your prayers and your support. We'll continue to do our good work, and we'll continue to drive Coventry forward. Thank you.
The next result to be announced will be for Whoberley ward. That's the result for Whoberley ward coming now.
Declaration of result of poll Coventry, election of a City Councillor for Whoberley on Thursday, 2nd of May 2024. I, Julie Newman, being the returning officer at the above election, do hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the said election is as follows. Lisa Marie Boyle, Conservative and Unionist Party, 821. Anna Caroline Granger, Liberal Democrats for a Fair Deal, 199. Jane Elizabeth Innes, commonly known as Jane Innes, Labour Party, 2070. Zoe Parker, Trade Unionist and Socialist Coalition, 74. Anne-Marie Patterson, commonly known as Anne Patterson, Green Party, 429. Ian Stringfellow, Coventry Citizens Party, 132. The number of ballot papers rejected was as follows. Voting for more candidates than voter was entitled to, 5. Being unmarked or wholly void for uncertainty, 32. Total 37. Vacant seats, 1. Electorate 11835. Ballot papers issued, 3,762. Turnout, 31.79%. And I do hereby declare that Jane Elizabeth Innes is duly elected.
I'll reposition the microphones for midgets. I'd like to start by thanking the returning officer, all the staff here and all the candidates who've stood. 2024 was the soggiest election I can remember in some time, and it's definitely the one where I get hailed on the most. But amazing Team Whoberley was out in all weathers, and I just want to say you are the very best people to campaign alongside. Everybody's amazing, but special mentions go to Double Agent Pervez, to Bally, to April, to Julie, to Chris, to Tony's mum, to Taiwo, to Mary, and my family, Joe, Greg and Matt. We knew it was a good day yesterday when the delivery guys were stopping to wish us luck. The truth is, everyone in this room needs to look at these results tonight, results like Bablake, and know that change is coming. It's time for the Prime Minister to call a general election.
Declaration of result of poll Coventry, election of a City Councillor for Foleshill on Thursday, 2nd of May 2024. I, Julie Newman, being the returning officer at the above election, do hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the said election is as follows. Abdulrazim Ibrahim Hamid, Independent, 247. Firin Assed, commonly known as Ferin Kiani Assed, Independent, 1,391. Terry Louise Fogden, Coventry Citizens Party, 180. Rakesh Gill, Conservative and Unionist Party, 356. Shakila Nazir, Labour Party, 2,027. David Lee Waters, Liberal Democrats for a Fair Deal, 125. The number of ballot papers rejected was as follows. Voting for more candidate than the voter was entitled to, 26. Being unmarked or wholly void for uncertainty, 56. Total 82. Vacant seats, 1. Electorate 13971. ballot papers issued 4,408. Turnout was 31.55%. And I do hereby declare that Shakila Nazir is duly elected. Firstly, I would like to thank the election staff for all their hard work. My sincere thank you to all my friends, colleagues and everyone who has supported me throughout this campaign. A special acknowledgement to George Duggins, my fantastic agent Parvez Akhtar, who has worked on 2 campaigns, and the chairman, Mr. Ilyasdin, and also my ward colleagues. Their support has been absolutely crucial in winning this election. I'm deeply thankful to my family, especially my mum and dad, for all their endless patience and understanding and support. And I am truly humbled and honoured to stand before you as a councillor for the Foleshill ward. To the residents of Foleshill, I thank you for putting your trust in me once again. As your Labour Party councillor, I will work tirelessly with you for you. Foleshill, a ward celebrated for its incredible diversity, is a place where I grew up, raised my family, and which I am proud to call home. But these last 7 months have been a challenge. Whilst talking to many of you on the doorsteps, I heard raw emotions, upset and hurt regarding the ongoing conflict in Palestine and Israel. I have unfortunately also witnessed some who have tried to use the suffering of others to create division in our communities. My dear constituents, this is a time when we must stand together united, and I, as your councillor, will ensure that your voices are heard where it matters the most. And we will continue to I will continue to advocate on your behalf. My ongoing pledge to you, my constituents, is to continue to prioritise your needs and put you at the forefront of everything I do. Thank you.
The next result to be announced will be for Woodlands ward. That's the result for Woodlands ward coming now.
Declaration of result of poll Coventry, election of a city councillor for Woodlands on Thursday, 2nd of May 2024. I, Julie Newman, being the returning officer at the above election, do hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the said election is as follows. Sarah Stephanie Davis, Trade Unionist and Socialist Coalition, 90. Mark James Perryman, Liberal Democrats for a Fair Deal, 213. Neil Raymond Ryder, commonly known as Neil Ryder, Labour and Cooperative Party, 1,563. Gary Christopher Ridley, Conservative and Unionist Party, 1,994. Leslie Claire Sim, Green Party, 216. Lorna Williams, Coventry Citizens Party, 121. The number of ballot papers rejected was as follows. Voting for more candidates than voter was entitled to, 3. Being unmarked or wholly void for uncertainty, 32. Total 35. Vacant seats, 1. Electorate 13878. Ballot papers issued 4,232. Turnout 30.49%. And I do hereby declare that Gary Christopher Ridley is duly elected.
Returning Officer, I am delighted to accept what will be my 6th term on the Council on behalf of the people of Woodlands Ward. Can I start by giving some thanks here today? First of all, I would like to thank the staff in this room who do a fantastic job as usual. A bit close to home, I'd like to thank my wife Laura for the support that she's given me not just over these last few weeks when it's been pouring with rain and we've had leaflets to go out, but also over the last 8 years that I've been a councillor in Woodlands Ward, and so much more beyond that. Can I also thank Pete and Julia for being such fantastic ward colleagues to work with. I think it's made it so much easier to work with good colleagues and to get this result in Woodlands Ward. But above all, I would like to thank the people of Woodlands Ward. There is something very, very humbling about being elected with such a strong result in this ward when clearly it's been a difficult day for the Conservatives up and down the country and elsewhere in the city as well. I've always said to the residents that politics is about a journey, and it's about being on that journey together, working for a better community together, and that is very much how I intend to spend the next 2 years, campaigning on our record of action with a promise of more. Thank you very much for your support, and thanks and congratulations to everybody else who's been successful tonight too. Thank you.
Declaration of result of poll Coventry, election of a City Councillor for Longford on Thursday 2nd of May 2024. I, Julie Newman, being the returning officer at the above election, do hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the said election is as follows. Alan Norman Howard Checklin, Trade Unionist and Socialist Coalition, 93. George Arthur Duggins, commonly known as George Duggins, Labour Party, 2,289. Ryan David McMichael, Liberal Democrats for a Fair Deal, 122. Denise Sanchez, Coventry Citizens Party, 178. William Sidhu, Conservative and Unionist Party, 507. Rachel Louise Ward, commonly known as Rachel Ward, Green Party, 284. The number of ballot papers rejected was as follows. Voting for more candidates than the voter was entitled to, 9. Being unmarked or wholly void for uncertainty, 58. Total, 67. Vacant seats, 1. Electorate, 14404. Ballot papers issued, 3,540. Turnout, 24.58%. And I do hereby declare that George Arthur Duggins is duly elected.
So, colleagues, can I begin by welcoming to the Labour Group B, David and Grace. It has been a fantastic result for the Labour Party. What I also want to do is begin by thanking the staff. You can see a lot of the staff have gone home. Some have been here since last night, colleagues, although they've had a break, of course, but nevertheless it's been an arduous count. I want to thank Lindsley, an agent really who's without peer. Lindsay does so much for the Labour Party in the city, and I simply don't know where I would be or we would be without him. I also want to thank Linda and Kerry as well for all the work that they do in the ward, and also Gavin Lloyd, who makes guest appearances for Longford. We've got we have people like Brian, David and Lynn, who also have helped us to get to where we are. Colleagues, I want to also thank the voters of Longford who have returned me for the 10th time. And I think, colleagues, that actually shows something. And there's a lesson for us all. Elections are won, as Neil Kinnock said, in years, not in weeks and not in months, but years. Let that lesson go out across the range, colleagues. You know, this particular group of people have come through some really difficult situations over a period of time. We've had to deal with COVID, the cost of living crisis. We've had, unfortunately, refuge disputes, which we're now putting behind us. And frankly, colleagues, we're going to get a better service as a result of that. And I think it is due to the fact that people have stuck together on this group. But we need to continue, colleagues, to work for a fair deal for Coventry, because frankly, colleagues, we're not getting one. We're £89 per head of population below what we should be nationally. And that means, colleagues, that we are around about £31 million light. Just imagine what this group, our group, could do with that, and what a difference we can make to the city over and above the difference that we are making. Colleagues, there were other elections. Obviously tomorrow there will be a count, and let's hope that we do get a new mayor in Richard Parker. He thoroughly deserves that to be the case, and we continue with Simon Foster. Colleagues, others have mentioned that we're on the verge of a general election, and it reminds me of a saying of Joe Louis, a great athlete in America, but also very much centre of the civil rights movement in America. And it's a message to Rishi Sunak. He can run, but he can't hide, colleagues. And that's a fact. He can run, but he can't hide. On the 28th of January next year, his licence is up. And when it's up, that's it. There's no question about what will happen. But I will just portray Sunak's future. I'll predict his future in cards. Undoubtedly, over the weekend, he's going to get a yellow card. It may well be upgraded to a red card on Tuesday, but if he's not upgraded to a red card on Tuesday, when he faces the electorate, he will certainly get the red card. And then I predict he'll play the green card. Colleagues, thanks ever so much. Thanks for all your support. Well done. And let's keep it going, colleagues, because we are delivering for the people of the city, and we will continue to do so.
For Holbrook Ward, that's Holbrook Ward, the result just coming now.
Declaration of result of poll Coventry, election of a City Councillor for Holbrook on Thursday, 2nd of May 2024. I, Julie Newman, being the returning officer at the above election, do hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the said election is as follows. Lakshman James Hensman, commonly known as Jim Hensman, Trade Unionist and Socialist Coalition, 111. Rachel Elizabeth Lancaster, commonly known as Rachel Lancaster, Labour and Cooperative Party, 2,180. Gareth Mark Lloyd, Green Party, 1,234. Suzanne Quasi, Conservative and Unionist Party, 427. The number of ballot papers rejected was as follows. Voting for more candidates than voter was entitled to 3. Being unmarked a wholly void for uncertainty 53, total 56. Vacant seats 1, electorate 13778, ballot papers issued 4008, turnout was 29.09%. And I do hereby declare that Rachel Elizabeth Lancaster is duly elected.
Thank you. I'd just like to thank staff both here and in all the polling stations over the last 2 days, and again for wishing them the best for tomorrow. I need to thank my agent, Kevin Hennessy, who has helped me endlessly throughout this campaign, my son Laurie, who has worked hard for B and Bablake and Holbrook despite having a broken knee. I'd like to thank the rest of my family, the indomitable Mick Duggan, who has run from house to house for wards all across the city and does us proud. But mostly I'd like to thank the people of Holbrooks. I'm a Holbrooks kid. born and bred, and it gives me great pride that they've re-elected me with a larger majority this time, looking at the work I've been doing in the community to support those in desperate need. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really do appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. This is the final declaration of result of poll for Coventry today. The election of City Councillor for Binley and Willenhall on Thursday, 2nd of May 2024. I, Julie Newman, being the returning officer at the above election, do hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the said election is as follows. Paul Cowley, Coventry Citizens Party, 1,421. William John Single, Conservative and Unionist Party, 562. Robert John Slater, commonly known as Rob Slater, Trade Unionist and Socialist Coalition, 77. Christine Elizabeth Thomas, Labour Party, 1,478. The number of ballots rejected was as follows: being unmarked or wholly void for uncertainty, 21. Voting for more candidates than voter was entitled, 29, with a total of 30. Vacant seats 1, electorate 13414. Ballot paper issued 3568, turnout 26.60%. And I do hereby declare that Christine Elizabeth Thomas is duly elected.
Thank you, colleagues. I'd first of all, before I thank anybody, like to thank my family, my Labour Party family. You have all been absolutely magnificent in the way you've rallied round and supported me, the way that you show that disability is no bar to election and service to the city. I'd like to thank in particular Team Thomas, Councillor Seaman, her daughter Catherine and her Pat's husband David. You have been absolutely amazing. Dave Toulson, congratulations on your long overdue victory, young man. And I look forward to serving alongside you at the council, and thank you for everything you did during my campaign. Ram Laka, Shay Agboola, my campaign manager, and last of all, the amazing Andrew Meredith, who was my agent. I'd also like to thank Carl, Juliet, Mahinda and everybody else who delivered for Binley and Willenhall Ward. At the end of the day, to paraphrase something that our leader said, we do not win elections in days, weeks or months. We win elections in years. I have had the great honour and privilege to serve Binley and Willenhall for the last 8 years, during which time I've worked hard for the residents, and I will continue to work hard for the residents. I would also like to thank the support I've had from all the other members of the Labour Party, and I would say this to you, that at the end of the day, the most important thing is the people that we serve. The people that I serve with great humility and honour. The residents of Binley and Willenhall have spoken yet again. Yet again they have trusted the Labour team, because we are a team in Binley and Willenhall. We will continue to deliver for the people in Binley and Willenhall, and let's have a general election soon. Thank you.